when the news has you confused and you can't understand what's going on. What the heck? Grab a deck for insight from Banshee and Oberon. It's WTF with TFT, WTF with TFT, WTF with TFT, let's go!
Hey everybody!
Hi, welcome.
Welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
Oberon.
and me, Banshee. Welcome to yet another episode of WTF for TFT, or with TFT. And you know what? It's time. It's time for some more, but we're going to be handling some kind of off-the-cuff topics this time.
Right, exactly. You know, we've noticed something, a trend in our daily work, and we thought, why is this happening? Well, really, we thought, what the...
Well, we thought, what the heck, WTF is going on with all of TFT's reverse daily cards for the collective? And unfortunately, I left my notes downstairs. I can't believe I did that. But I looked at what was going on from May through pretty much the present, excluding this next week. But now I'm going to include this next week because we have 6 reversed cards in the week ahead. And it's crazy. It's been like this. The vast majority of what we have been pulling is reversed cards.
Right. In any given week, we seem to just have a balance of more reverse cards to upright ones. Occasionally, it is not that consistent, but it just amounts to a number of cards with a reverse meaning. And as longtime tarot readers, we are amongst those who do, in fact, look at those as an actual interpretation we need to give.
Some people would say, well, don't use reversals. Well, I feel the nuance of a reversal is important on its own. So whether it's a positive or a negative.
It's a personal choice, and we don't mind if others, you know, have that feeling about it or not. It's just one we feel comfortable with.
But we want to know what's going on, and this is not to get into this too deeply, but someday we will do a video on how we prep our cards for these types of shows. But I will tell you that they get mixed up very, very well. And, you know, they could end up any which way. But the thing is, they just seem to all be coming out reversed as we pick them randomly.
Alrighty, so let's get started.
Let's get started. We're going to shuffle here. And these cards were all mixed up really well before the show began.
Warmed up.
Yes. And mixed up in a puppy pile. So the first question, well, I'm going to give it to Mr. O, and then we'll read the first question, and this will be the basis. And there's really only 3 other questions after this one. All right, Mr. O.
All right.
So basically the first question, which will be 5 cards, is WTF is going on with all the reverse cards we've been pulling for the collective through the summer and now into the fall. So let's see what the cards say about this. Not everything is going to necessarily be about politics on this show, although a lot will be. And it'll be about other things too, maybe in the entertainment world sometime, you know.
Anything that seems confusing or so bizarre that you just need to know. Grab a deck.
What the heck?
All right.
So let's see, we're going to lay out 5 cards. And the first one is reversed. It's the 4 of Pentacles reversed. And the 5 of Wands is upright. The 3 of Swords is reversed. That's very interesting. The Ace of Pentacles is upright. And do I have room? No, I
You'll
can.
need to move
Yeah.
them and maybe even overlay them a little.
Well, I may want to pick one up for emphasis. Maybe
Sure,
that's what we
but you
should do
can.
instead. But okay. And final card is the Magician reversed.
Right. Well, we talked about this.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a real interesting reading from start to finish. And I'll explain why. I think here, with the Four of Pentacles reversed, this is talking about, you know, troubles and challenges maybe in our life that we need to deal with and release, really, especially looking at this card here. It's kind of like a ball and chain sort of image. I maybe want to bring this one out again and just show that. And, oftentimes it talks about the material things that tie us down. So yes, I mean, this could be about the fact that, we're so tied into the material realm to our detriment right now that maybe these cards are challenging us to change things. But more than that, I feel we need to find a way to release and figure out how to deal with the challenges that have been blocking us. And maybe all of these reversals kind of revolve around that.
The sense of the first card is that there's something we need to lose, something that we should give up. It could be about, our overall perspective on cards. It's hard to say just from this first one, but it seems to me like there's something we can't hold on to. We should consider not holding on to any longer.
Right. I think that's the message of why we are getting the cards, the reversals. So the Five of Wands is here upright, and that's an interesting card too, because I think it's saying there is just a lot of conflictual energy going on right now. Energy that is challenging the collective, and some of it is pulling us apart from one another. There's arguments, there's people that can't get along politically or otherwise, and that is maybe playing into the fact that there are a lot of challenging cards coming up for us right now as well.
Well, the question asks itself in terms of being a card for the collective. And when you think about it, can any one set of cards really relate to everybody theoretically? And so maybe the Five of Wands is an appropriate choice here, because not everyone is going to take this seriously or even give it a notice here. This may just be for those who really are vying for that information. And so,
Yeah, go ahead.
and so the question maybe can't really be asked in terms of the collective, because it really is a sense of a niche of that.
Well, since Mr. O and I disagree on that, I think we're going to recap our own at the end of the reading. And so the Three of Swords is here also. So I think the reason we're getting the reversals as well is we need to heal what's wrong. We need to heal ourselves, perhaps, in order to make things right again. And we have to remember, it's like just with the Three of Swords here, not all reversals are bad cards, but depending on some of the cards, like for example, sword cards represent challenges and obstacles in our lives. So I think here, this is saying our challenge is to heal ourselves so that everything is more positive once more.
Well, if we think about the Three of Swords, it is talking about things that cause pain or separate us from ourselves or from parts of ourselves. And so in reverse, maybe this is saying it's reconciling. We are reconciling these differing aspects. And so that is a form of healing too, because we are coming to terms with what really needs to happen so we can understand each other, understand each other's pain, struggles, challenges.
And so when I look at card 4, I really feel here that what it's telling us is that dealing with these challenging cards will create a new, will create a new consciousness for us, a new growth spurt. We will learn a lot from the process of dealing with these cards. I think it's meant, in other words, these reversals aren't meant to harm us. They really are meant to help us grow, to plant a seed to help us grow in the right direction.
I agree with that. I think that's definitely what this is about too. And I think that that Ace of Pentacles is a call back to the first card, the Four of Pentacles, for me in a way, or the way I'm looking at it, because what we should maybe let go of or no longer hold back is the idea that we have to question this, that maybe this is really the idea that we are reconciling, like I said about the Three of Swords, and realizing this is reality, and so it is just merely up to us to try to come up with the best way of imparting what the message may be.
And number 5 is interesting too, the Magician reversed. I think what it's saying to me is that maybe some of us have been kind of living a lie, thinking that everything should be okay and positive and light. And that's a lie. That's a deception. Right now, things are not good. Let's face it, things are not good. Maybe they're good in your little world, but if we look at the whole collective picture, there's a world of pain going on right now. There's a lot of difficulties, not just in the U.S., but worldwide, that are going on right now. And it would be foolish of us to think that we can turn a blind eye to this, or we can just make it go away by, sleight of hand, pretending, that it just doesn't exist.
That's very well said. I mean, because when we look at the Magician reverse, it is maybe somebody who is using certain abilities, sleight of hand or illusionary stage practices to deceive. And so this is saying we are trying to combat that. We are trying to give the matter due attention and due focus on what it should be.
I like it. And, while I could agree with Mr. O that maybe this isn't even worth the question, they just fall the way they fall, the cards, it just seems like such a unusual pattern for us that, the question needed to be asked and clarified. And I really like, what I see here. So let's recap it. And feel free to keep going your route here, because that was interesting. I think here I just disagree. I mean, with these...
Wait, I'm going to just make a little adjustment.
Okay, with these cards here. So basically, the Four of Pentacles, I'm going to just go through mine and then I'll let you go ahead. The Four of Pentacles reversed is indicating to me that there's something that we need to release. There are these challenges and struggles that we maybe have been going through since the summer began, and it's ongoing through the fall apparently, that we really need to release. And it may involve or be because of a lot of conflict going on between us right now. People are not agreeing with each other what's the best way forward, but not only that, maybe we're more into fighting than trying to find a best way forward. And that goes with a lot of things going on in the world right now. And I think here too, we are getting these reversals because they are meant to show us what needs healing, and it's also to help us grow. It's helping us grow by dealing with this stuff and admitting there are problems here that we must find a solution for. And there's no covering that up anymore. No trying to hide it. No trying to pretend it doesn't exist. It's time for us to really take action and really put our will into making it happen.
So that idea that I might have said, or that I did say, well, we don't really need to ask this question based on one of those cards, was a glib thought, because we never would have really come to that conclusion without doing this. I mean,
that's true.
It's sort of like a time travel paradox in a way. And so for that reason, then I'm going to just go to the middle card and say, this really is about reconciling, what this means. I mean, being able to impart to our viewers the idea of what those reverse card energies could mean too, just on their own as a reversal of the major energy. The Four of Pentacles is saying to us, what is it you're holding on to that you really should let go? And in terms of the question of the cards, it's maybe that inhibition about delivering a contrary message, or one that is not necessarily clearly delineated, even for us longtime readers. You know, a lot of times we work with differing materials that tell us, oh, there is no reverse meaning for these cards, but we are pledged to kind of find them.
Well, I understand how some readers, want to just give a positive message and positive solutions, and that is great. That is absolutely great. But that's not completely how TFT has always operated, or ourselves in our own readings. We deal with the hard truths in life, and sometimes there are no easy or fast answers. We can't always give hope where we see none, but that doesn't mean that we can't find it eventually. But at the moment where we pull those cards, things may look kind of bleak.
So the Five of Wands there maybe represents that idea of the contrary forces, either between ourselves as readers with different interpretations, or with the actual cards themselves, and that idea that there is more than one possible interpretation, and we are bound to kind of give you that information. And so that is a competitionary kind of stance, though. But ultimately, we want to go to the reconciliation. We want to find the growth for healing, and we basically want to commit no wrong problems.
Nice. Do you shuffle first for the next one?
I guess I do.
Okay.
I earned that right, didn't I?
So the next question is, what role, if any, does all of the political and social unrest in the world have to do with these card pulls? We saw some of that here, but let's just see if this can, tell us more, or maybe even give us some solution. We'll see.
No, you're shuffling two, or I'm just...
I am shuffling two.
Ready?
All right. And I'll cut for you.
For me.
For you. And we're just going to draw one card for the rest of these pulls. We'll see how it may interact with the five we have already pulled. All right. What do you got? Oh, it does. Okay, what role, if any, does all of the political and social unrest in the world have to do with these card pulls? And we pull the Three of Cups upright. And so I think here... I think it is picking up our collective energy. That's what it is. And I think it is picking up the collective energy of what's going on in the world right now. This Three of Cups is not just about one of us, it's about all of us. It's about all of us and how we interact and interface with one another. Now, this is positive. So it's trying to say that it is showing us these things because it wants us all to come back together.
Right. In a world that we have such polarity in, the Three of Cups is an absolute card for a collective sense. Now, we realize that, of course, not everybody is that total collective of humanity, but there are overlapping areas, and some of those areas are culturally specific to celebrations of particular time passages or times of the year. And I guess this could just be saying, really, that we have to put aside that time to celebrate the human being, the human society, and figure out if we can come together somehow as a collective.
Well, right. I think we need to celebrate our humanity and the fact that we all, deep down, when it comes down to the bottom line, we all want the same things in life, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I say that, from America's point of view, because people do not want to be slaves. People do not want to be, want to have a chance at a good life, and we want to be happy. We all want happiness as a part of our life.
In a way, this card is a little bit of a misnomer too, because the question was about political things going on, but
It's
at the heart,
not. It's
well,
it's
let
not.
me complete my
Okay.
thought, dear.
No.
But this is really about people thinking beyond politics. This is people thinking about people first rather than politics.
Well, yes and no. I would say politics and religion and all the things that divide us are involved here for one reason. Because the three cups together is just saying, I'm willing to let you live and let live, because we all have common goals despite our varying traditions, customs, colors, sexualities, etc.
So let's move on to the next question, 3.
What is the likelihood this pattern of mostly reversed cards will continue through the end of the year? We shuffle. We do shuffle. Okay. So I shuffled.
I thought we did that other time.
First this time, and you cut for me.
Now, it says we could just pull over the card and determine it as a yes or no. Well, it isn't really a yes or no question, is it?
I want to get the nuance too, but I agree with you for the most part. It will let us know if it's a yes or no. Well, and even then, what is it a yes or no to? That it will stop now, or it will?
Yes, exactly. That's why there's
okay. It's not worded that way.
To the question,
right? It's not worded that way, so I think we'll be able to tell though. What you are asking here, shuffle.
Right.
Oh, and if you enjoy the show, hit the like button.
Yes, please.
We appreciate it, and do consider subscribing if you are new to our channel, YouTube channel.
Also, follow us on all our other media. We do Facebook, X, Threads, Instagram, Blue Sky, in addition to here on YouTube. Thank you.
All right. So, what is the likelihood this pattern of mostly reversed cards will continue through the end of the year? Wow. It's the Two of Pentacles.
Stalemate.
I think it's going to. I think that means is we're going to see more of this.
Yeah.
Or will it be a healthy balance?
Yeah.
It could be that things may start to balance out. It's a rather ambiguous one, isn't it?
Well, that would mean approximately 3 reversed 1 week, 3 not reversed. That kind of thing.
I mean, we have had some rest spikes, right? We have had some, but so I have a feeling,
I would interpret that as it most likely will continue.
That there may be, because the two, yes, I think it could continue, and I think because the Two of Pentacles, when you see it, usually the traditional version is with the juggler having one arm up and one arm down. Maybe it's in sync this way, but it also means one thing is heavier than the other sometimes, right?
Right.
Until you move it the other way.
You can cut things in halves, but it doesn't mean that they are equal halves.
And so I think here it will be a struggle for the cards to right themselves, obviously due to whatever's going on in this collective.
Alrighty, so final question.
You shuffle first, and what are we supposed to learn and take away from all of this?
Hi, Sonny. Does everybody see him over here? Hello there, boy. Thank you for visiting. You want to come on my lap? Yeah.
Sorry if I'm making you reach.
All right. What are we supposed to learn and take away from all of this?
Well, it's the Queen of Swords reversed. Well, I would just say jokingly, not to allow all the reversals to stop you from watching our shows, you know,
And
or
I'll be more
discourage
succinct
you.
and just say, deal with it.
Right, like that, but not discouraged from hearing these messages that we maybe need to take in, and to recognize that some of the stuff that's been going on, some of the things that are causing all of this are due to making some bad decisions. Also, the fact that maybe right now, everybody in the world is just really kind of confused as to how to deal with what's going on. And so these reversals and these challenging cards may help us work through some of that.
Another way of looking at the Queen of Swords, of course, when they're reversed, is that sometimes a person has to just make their best decision and everyone else just has to accept it.
What?
And so that could be what this means
right.
about the cards ultimately too, is that we just have to accept them as what they are and try to take meaning from our interpretations or what we feel they can apply to our lives.
We have to deal with what is dealt. Right? So, well, that explains some of it.
It does indeed.
And I think it was an interesting look, attempt to look at why this occurred, because honestly, I just am surprised. I think we've been doing this for what? 6 years now, going on 6 years now, and
well, we're actually started our 7th year.
Oh, that's right. We're into the 7th year. Sorry, we're into the 7th year, and we have never seen, I feel, a run of cards like this, which is why I even asked the question. Yeah.
So there you have it.
So take care, everybody, until we meet again to WTF what's going on with something. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye for now.